You, Erin.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, for all your help getting this organized. It's a lot of work on the back end, so I really appreciate you doing this for me and doing this for Prairie Naturals and us and everybody who's attending tonight. So thank you for that. And then also thank you to Netters for having me back again. I'm an Alberta girl, so it's nice to be working with Netters. So thank you so much. So tonight we're talking about flexible fasting. I'm excited about this topic. If you listen to my webinar we did a couple months back when you eat weight loss, I kind of alluded a bit to flexible fasting. So we're going to kind of dig into it and what it is today. So just to kind of give you a brief synopsis on who I am, my name is Ashlie. I'm the founder and owner of Aeryon Wellness. I'm a registered holistic nutritional counselor, an ISSA trainer, eating disorder recovery coach, and I've been in the supplement space for about 18 years. I've been second year in a row about a top 100 health and wellness influencer in Canada. I have a #1 book on Amazon called Bulimia to Balance. I have 4 cookbooks with my daughter, and then I'm the wellness expert on Pulse 107.7 out here in Vancouver. My most important job to date is I am the mother to a beautiful 12-year-old girl named Michaela, and she really is my why and my purpose, not only behind the brand and what I've created, but also in my journey to finding holistic health and wellness, which is now my mission to empower women with holistic health and wellness. So I just want to make sure we're on the same page. I'm sure everybody's heard of the word diet. You know, a friend who's been on a diet. We know what the word diet means. Maybe you've tried one. And I think this picture here can probably resonate with you. This might be you when you've fallen off the diet, before you start the diet. I know that was definitely me at like 11:59, right before my diet began. So, and I think another one we can resonate to is Charlene, right? Really fed up, you've been trying everything, and we're just not able to lose weight. So why this topic is so important to me and the word diet and really understanding all this is we're going to go back in my story, going to go back to the very beginning, as Buzz and Woody say, to my first diet, which started at 12 years old. My mom used to bring me protein shakes to lunch to help get me kind of back on track. I was quite an overweight child at the time, or at least that's what was seen. And then fast forward to my 13-year-old self, I was actually put into Weight Watchers. And as I sat in that meeting, I realized I was too much and not enough all at the same time. And even more so, that became my story that I carried with me for almost 20 to 30 years. When I was 14, 15, a classmate of mine talked about his sister struggling with anorexia and bulimia, and I really thought I found the winning diet ticket. And that's when I had started on my journey with bulimia and anorexia, which that lasted for 25 years. In my 20s, I actually started doing fitness competitions. So they're kind of like glorified eating disorders, to be quite honest with you. I got praises and accolades for the way I looked, but I was restricting and starving myself for about 16 weeks. And then once the show was over, I would fall back into my binging and purging pattern that I've had for so many years. So I competed for 13 years. I probably did 4 shows a year, lots of shows every year, trying to kind of, get back on track, as I think we can all resonate with that one. One of my last shows is on the left here at the Arnold Classic. And the picture on the right is probably about 3 to 4 months after. So although you might not have struggled with eating disorders and you might not have ever competed in a show, I think all of us can really resonate with the idea of dieting, the idea of being really on or really off a program. And that's one of the things I try to talk a lot about, is how do we then get rid of that? How do we find more of a holistic well-being? And I kind of had my aha moment. I had binged and purged. I'd binged again, gone upstairs to purge, and my 3-year-old daughter knocked on the door. And I'd almost been caught lots of times in my life, but this one was really different, coming from my little daughter on the other side of the door. And I raised my head up and I caught my reflection, and I'd seen that lots. My eyes were watering, the whole bit. And I realized if I don't get a grip on this, that this is going to be her story. And I had to get a control on my negative relationship, my horrific relationship really with food in my body. And that's really when I began to work on finding that holistic place. I got to a place where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was sick and tired of hating my body. I was sick and tired of battling it all the time. I really wanted to find peace. And in that, I began to look back through all the women I coached throughout the years, because even when I was doing all of the training and everything, I was actually working with women, believe it or not. I was giving them advice, but yet I really struggled with finding my own balance. So as I began to look back in that, I began to look what holistic is, what I really wanted. And it really comes not just from nutrition. It comes from the thoughts we think, the friends we keep, the food we eat, our daily movement, and then supplementation. And I began to look, how do I work on having this all together? And I spent years really coming to a point to where I am now. And what I also began looking at as well is instead of focusing on when we were eating, right? What if we started focusing on when we were eating, sorry, and connecting to why instead of just what, right? Because I was always kind of obsessive with what I was eating all the time. And so I was like, what if I start really looking at this in a different manner? And that's really what brought me into the flexible fasting method that I use now. And I've been using this probably for about, I'd say about 7 years. And it's been phenomenal for me because it's really helped with my relationship and connecting to my hunger cues. So excuse me. So tonight, these are some of the points of discussion we're going to be going over. We're going to be going over the flexible fasting 101, kind of what it is. We're going to also go into the health benefits. We're going to look at intuitive eating, how it connects to intuitive eating and mindfulness, and then look at nutrition and supplementation. I've got a lot more other things in this topic. So we're just going to get started right away. So flexible fasting, I'm sure some of you have heard of intermittent fasting. So there's whole day fasting, alternate day fasting, time restricted feeding. However, flexible fasting is different because there's no set time. So you don't have to only eat between certain periods of time. And I find with myself, if I get restricted, whether you can't have this food or you can't do that, I want it all the more. I'm like that little 5-year-old. So the minute I start restricting myself is the minute I start pushing back. So the reason I really like flexible fasting, it allows me to land in my hunger cues and really connect to my body and then support my body with nutritional choices. And when I eat is up to me. So it's like intermittent fasting, but sorry, let me just move this so I can actually see something. There we go. You eat during certain windows and fast during others, but there is no time schedule. You decide how to organize your eating and fasting in a way that works for you personally. So it's like a personal eating schedule. And we use our intuition. So, and unlike a lot of the set intermittent fasting where it's not 1 o'clock, I can't eat yet. It's, am I really hungry? And connecting to that and then honoring that, which will bring more awareness and attention into our body. So if we look at the comparison between, regular intermittent fasting, it's timed fast, there's a timed eating window, there's restriction, it can be stressful as well, which is going to raise your cortisol level. It can lead to eating disorders as well because of that restrictive mentality, self-shame and guilt if you eat before your set timed window. And it can make you very antisocial. If you want to go out for dinner with somebody or lunch with somebody and you're like, I can't eat till 2, sorry, that really kind of is not a way that you want to have, life. I think you want to be able to enjoy yourself. So with flexible fasting, you fast until you're hungry. You don't wake up first thing in the morning and eat. You really stop and let yourself get hungry, land in that hunger cue. There is no timed windows. There's more flexibility. It creates trust in your body because you can honor yourself when you're hungry and honor your needs. There is no shame and guilt. And it becomes your personalized eating strategy that you can use wherever you are, no matter what. So, and with this prolonged fasting, when we look at weight loss, which is obviously some of the things people look to do fasting for, it actually helps your body burn through more calories, right? It exhausts its sugar stores and start using fat for energy. So now we're going to go into some of the benefits of fasting. So weight loss, I think that's one of the things I just touched on. One of the reasons a lot of people do look at intermittent fasting is for weight loss, and how that really plays out is the fact you're eating less during that time window, unless you compensate. So unless you have, and that's one of the reasons I struggle with intermittent fasting, is because then I kind of have in that mindset, oh, but I didn't eat till 2, so now I'm going to eat so much more. By having flexible fasting, allowing myself to get hungry, feeling that hunger cue, I know I've connected to myself and seeing and know that I'm honoring my hunger and letting myself have good nutritional choices. However, another thing too is if we look according to a 2014 review, fasting techniques reduces body weight by 3 to 8% over a period of 3 to 24 weeks. So it can definitely lead to weight loss. It retains more muscle mass. So I know that picture's a little fuzzy there, but 5 pounds of fat burns 20 calories a day. 1 pound of fat burns 5 calories. 5 pounds of muscle burns 250 calories a day. This is why it's really important to make sure you're lifting weights and that you're actually doing load-bearing exercises to create muscle tissue. 1 pound of muscle burns 50 calories. So one of the worst side effects of dieting, what it often tends to do is that your body will tend to lose muscle along with fat. And we really want to keep that muscle. However, what they found in calorie restrictive diets, 25% of the weight loss was muscle. Only 10% in the fasting calorie restriction studies. So by using more of a flexible fasting idea, you're actually going to spare that muscle tissue, and that's going to keep your metabolism going faster and burning more calories at rest. Controls insulin levels. If you watch the talk Winning at Weight Loss, So insulin, when we eat foods with carbohydrates, that carbohydrates turns to sugar and glucose after it gets digested, enters our blood system. The pancreas senses that there's blood sugar and produces insulin. And then the insulin takes that sugar to enter the cell, to use that sugar to enter the cell to give you energy, right? So it's a hormone created by your pancreas. Now it helps store glucose, glucose in your liver, fat, and muscles, and it regulates your metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and protein. However, when you're fasting, those insulin levels drop significantly. If you were at the Winning at Weight Loss webinar, one of the things I talked about was one of the things, if you're finding that you could have some insulin resistance where you're really exhausted after you have a meal, like carbohydrates or something, you're just tired, or you're constantly feeling hungry, you could have some insulin resistance issues. So eating less meals, having 3 set meals a day instead of those traditional 6 meals a day that we were taught for so long, having less meals a day reduces the amount of insulin your body's going to produce. So lower levels of insulin also facilitate more fat burning, which is a good thing if you're trying to lose weight. And intermittent fasting can reduce insulin resistance and lower blood sugar levels. So by eating less, eating in those shorter windows a day, you're going to reduce your insulin. It increases growth hormone. So growth hormone is what kind of keeps us young. When you're, I think it's 40 years old, your growth hormone levels start to go down. We start getting gray hair, we start getting more wrinkles. So ghrelin is the hormone that's produced in the gut. That's the hunger hormone. Basically, it's like, hey, I'm hungry. That's in your stomach's growling, but it also stimulates the release of growth hormone. So the next time you actually feel yourself getting hungry, I've always kind of looked at it as, oh, this is a good thing. I've got more growth hormone being produced in my body. It's like good cream on your skin or something. You don't have to pay for Botox. but it actually helps stimulate growth hormone from the pituitary gland. And it also helps break down fatty tissue and can cause the buildup of muscle. So growth hormone boosts muscle growth, strength, and exercise performance, right? So studies show that fasting leads to increased levels of growth hormone when you feel that stomach growling, but you have to honor it too. So I will connect with the honoring and listening to those hunger cues, but by allowing yourself to feel hungry, it's not only you're connecting, but you're like, okay, this is my body doing some good here. I'm producing some growth hormone as well. And one study, and we're not talking about a 3-day fast here, but in a 3-day fast, the HG levels increased by over 300%, in a week of fasting by 1,250. So really showing how much that increases just by letting your body get a little hungry, just by checking in when you feel those hunger cues. Next, we have reduced oxidative damage and inflammation. So oxidative stress is one of the steps towards aging and chronic diseases. When fasting, the cells are forced to start using sources of less readily available energy, like fatty acids. So this can cause the cells to turn on survival processes and remove the unhealthy mitochondria and place them with healthy one over time, reducing the production of free radicals in the long term. Improves brain health. Intermittent fasting improves various metabolic features known to be important for brain health. It increases the levels of the brain hormone called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So it helps the brain make new connections, repairs failing brain cells, and helps protect healthy brain cells. And also helps protect against neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Heart health, it helps the heart. Heart disease is the world's biggest killer. Intermittent fasting is shown to improve numerous different risk factors, including blood pressure, total LDL cholesterol, blood triglycerides, inflammatory markers, and blood sugar levels. And then anti-aging. So we already talked about the growth hormone aspect of things, but fasting triggers a metabolic pathway called atrophy, which removes waste from the cells. So atrophy in Greek is self-eating, which is aggregate. Your system gets rid of old damaged cells and replaces them with shiny new ones. Atrophy makes your cells younger and more capable and slows down aging. So that's another benefit as well. So looking at here, we've got enhances insulin sensitivity. It's going to fight inflammation, promotes heart health, supports cognitive function, and can boost weight loss as well. So we've got a whole host of benefits here just by really starting to step into more of a fasted state. But when we look at the practice and tradition around the world, one thing we see that's clear is we're designed to be flexible around food. And this is where the difference between the intermittent, blocked, timed, only eat during a certain time idea of fasting and between flexible fasting is, because it allows you the permission and the freedom to acknowledge and pay attention to your body. So when we look at flexible fasting and how it connects to intuitive and mindful eating, why do I eat? Why am I eating right now? Am I hungry? Am I tuned in? When do I eat? When do I eat what I want to eat? Like, when am I eating? What do I eat? How do I eat? Am I chewing fast? Am I paying attention? Did I even taste anything from my last meal? How much am I eating? Are you connecting to how much you're eating, feeling full? And where do I invest my energy? Are you investing your time and obsessing about when you're going to eat, what you're going to eat all the time? So really looking at how we can tie this all in together. So when we look at intuitive eating, it really is breaking up with diet culture. I don't look at flexible fasting as a diet. I look at it as a way of connecting more to myself. So it's not, it's more a way of connecting into myself. So intuitive eating is trusting your inner body's wisdom to make the choices around food that feel good in your body without judgment and without influence of diet culture. So we're seeing food as fuel, we're honoring our body and its signals, and discovering satisfaction and respect with that. So some of the benefits is letting go of that all or nothing mentality. So because there's not this set time, really letting go of that all or nothing mentality, learning to trust our body when our body's hungry, listening to that ghrelin in our system, our growling that we've got, and being, okay, I'm feeling hungry. I know the process, what's happening, and I've got growth hormone happening right now. I'm feeling hungry. What do I choose to eat? Having a better body image, a higher self-esteem. It's going to improve your metabolism. It diminishes stress levels as well. It's going to decrease rates of disordered and emotional eating when you're really honoring yourself and listening to what you're hungry, increase satisfaction with life, and creates mindfulness with food and choices. So we're going to do, everybody do an exercise. We can kind of go in the chat if you want to, but if we kind of close our eyes right now and really kind of connect to your body. And from a scale of 1 to 10, where are you on the hunger scale right now? Are you extremely hungry? Did you not get a chance to grab something to eat tonight before sitting down? Are you neutral? Did you just have your dinner? You're feeling good? Are you feeling kind of stuffed because you maybe ate too much? Or, well, sick. Maybe that would be like you're really, really full. So if you're really, really full, so kind of just checking in where you are in your body right now. And let me just turn the chat on if you want to. There we go. You're a 6, okay? A 7, full. Okay, a lot of people had dinner, I'm assuming. 7, that's good. 6. And the interesting thing too is, 7, 5, a 1. Oh, you're hungry, Paul. I'm sorry, I wish we were able to grab a bite to eat before we started. 6, okay, awesome. So now what I want everybody to do, now what would you do if you guys are a 7, 8, or a 3 or 4? So when we really think about if you're not on this webinar right now, do you go to the fridge and stare in the fridge and check if that fridge light is on yet again? Are you somebody who doesn't let yourself eat, or do you mindlessly kind of look in the cupboards and just start eating? Right? Like, so really kind of starting to pay attention as to what we do around food. And I think that's been a really important part for myself, is understanding if I stress eat. I think a lot of us can resonate with stress eating, especially during COVID. So what would be your normal go-to if you went on the webinar? Does anybody have like some food? I tend to, like, for me, if I want a snack, if I was feeling around a 6, I might go into 6 or 7, even if I'm full. I might actually sometimes go in and have some yogurt, right? Oh, chocolate. Yeah. Chocolate for sure. I can understand that. Cereal or chocolate chips. Yeah, nuts. Snack on pecans, 90% chocolate. Love that. It's yummy. Fruit. Yeah, so those are some of the things we end up kind of eating, right? Popcorn. Oh, popcorn's good too. These are all really good choices, everybody. So really just looking at what food you would have had, right? If you're not in this webinar. I'm going to go a bit further. Now I want you to think about today. Do you connect your hunger normally? Like, so this morning when I woke up, because I abide more of a flexible fasting mentality, what I do is I really always ask myself, am I hungry right now? I don't just automatically eat. I get up and do the gym first thing in the morning. Then I come home and I'll have, I'm going to talk about some of the things you can have up to breaking your fast. I'll have water, I'll have some tea. I just kind of putter around and do my thing that I need to do work-wise. And then when I really start to feel hungry, that's when I eat. And do we connect to our hunger normally? At lunch, did you actually feel hungry, or did you just eat to eat? So starting to really pay attention to that hunger and feeling attention to that, the hunger cues that our body's giving us. Right? So we really want to start doing that. That's really part of this whole, the talk, and why it's really important. Because it's important, if we are hungry, that we honor it. Okay, so that's, I hope, like a little bit of kind of next time when you're feeling hungry, you're leaving to later tonight, just taking a second, being like, am I really hungry here? What's going on? Am I hungry? And how am I going to, honor that with my body? And that's really what takes us to our next section, of course, is nutrition. Because now we have to look at, okay, now I'm hungry. I've honored that. now what am I going to give my body? How am I going to support this beautiful vessel that I get to occupy, right? So let food be thy medicine, or medicine be thy food. That could not be, that is definitely a thing that I definitely abide by in our household here. Really looking at good, nutritious food. We want to make sure we're really giving our body what it needs to give us the results that we want to have, whatever that is. All right, so we have a little quiz. We have an opportunity to win a prize. So I want everybody to get ready. Don't nobody say anything yet. So the first person who answers the question will win a prize. So you have to answer this, and then so get ready to type. You should drum roll. What are macros? First person to type what macro. Oh, Cheryl, you are ready to go. Okay, so Cheryl wins a prize pack. But yes, protein, fats, and carbs. Cheryl's on it. Okay, Cheryl, Jen's going to send you my email address. You can email me and I will send you your prize pack from tonight's webinar. But it is protein, fats, and carbs. Your micronutrients are your multivitamins and all your micros. So we're going to talk a little bit about those. But now we're going to go into protein, fats, and carbs, and what are they? And I mean, who doesn't love Stewie here? You can't live like this without the proper macros, Brian. So macronutrients, protein, fats, and carbs. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the benefits of protein. If you were at the Winning at Weight Loss, some of the slides might look familiar to you, but I cannot emphasize the importance of protein. Protein is going to help stabilize insulin levels. Protein helps with your leptin, with your ghrelin. It's just having protein with every single meals are really, really important, right? It's going to stabilize those blood sugars so you don't have those ups and downs. So with protein, obviously stabilize blood sugar, as I just said, it improves fat burning. It helps create more muscle tissue, as we saw on that slide before. We really want to make sure we're having nutrients to create that muscle tissue, because that muscle tissue is going to burn more fat. It's going to stimulate muscle building, as I just said, improves learning and memory, promotes a positive mood, important for heart health. It slows down the aging process, and important for bone density and also the immune system as well. So it also is big for hormonal balance too. So proteins are chemical building blocks called amino acids. A complete protein has 9 essential amino acids in it. So your body uses the amino acids to build and repair muscles and bones and to make hormones and enzymes. It creates lean muscle tissue, which increases our metabolism. So how we figure out how much protein we need in a day-to-day, you can take a screenshot of this if you'd like. You can go into your phones and probably Google, so if we say this person's 150 pounds, when I Googled how much does 150 pounds equal to kilograms, it comes out to 70.3 kilograms. Now, if you are average person is 0.8, so you times that 0.8. I'm fairly active. I usually times my weight times 1. That's what I would do. So I would probably be at more 70 grams of protein per day. This person's at 56 grams of protein per day. So that 56 grams of protein per day, you're going to divide that between 3 meals or however many meals you have, and you're going to make sure you're getting that allotted amount of protein in every meal. That protein is going to stabilize your blood sugar. It's going to help with creating more lean muscle tissue and all the different benefits that we talked about before. And also, as I said, immune system. That's another important topic. Everybody's been talking about our immune health. It helps with antibodies, and the immune system relies on protein. So really making sure we're getting that good quality protein. And some of the sources we can get from protein, we have grass-fed beef and chicken. You have wild fish, lentils, eggs, chickpeas, spirulina. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, chlorella, tofu, whey, and there's vegan proteins as well. I'm a big fan of having powdered proteins. I look at them not as a supplement. To me, they are like a food group because I keep them always in my house. One of my favorite ones is the Lean Whey by Prairie Naturals. The reason I like it is New Zealand whey. So New Zealand cows are grass-fed. So the idea they're out in the field and pasture. So the idea happy cows, happy whey. But you have 24 grams of protein in a scoop. So if you're somebody looking at having that 60 grams of protein, or myself, say 70 grams of protein a day, one of these scoops is going to take care of one of my meals, one of my set intakes of protein. And then I can have chicken, or I can have fish or eggs, or whatever the case I have the other 2 meals of the day. It also has digestive enzymes, so it doesn't upset your stomach. It has your branched chains in there. It's not sweetened with anything synthetic. It's also been tested for growth hormones as well, and it's easy to make. And I'll show you quickly. I'm a big almond fan maker, so I've got my almond milk here, just the 30-calorie one. This is the one I usually buy. I will say that too. If you're looking to buy almond milk, they have some that's really high in calories. I always go for the 30-calorie one, because why would I go for like 100? I can go 30. So how you make these smoothie, you can add it, you just shake your cup. That's how I take it. Whey, this is the whey protein here. It's a smaller tubby. So if you're not somebody who wants to get those big tubbies, that's why I like this. It doesn't take up lots of covered space. It has a little scoop here. So this one for 2 scoops would be the 24 grams, right? So 2 scoops like that, top, and you just add your almond milk and shake it up. So you can have it like this, or if you have a blender, you know, add berries to it, add some nut butters to it. You can make yourself a really nice smoothie. Another thing I do with this that you could do is you just shake it. Pretty easy. It's all blended. Another thing you can do with this, if you use the almond milk, is if you're somebody who likes oatmeal, you can put this into your oatmeal. My dad does that. My dad was just diagnosed as a diabetic, and that's one of his favorite meals of the day. He takes a couple tablespoons of the whey, mixes it in with almond milk, mixes that together, and then pours that on top of his oatmeal in the morning. So then he's getting some protein and some carbs, and he has a bite of nut butters as well, I believe. So really easy way of incorporating protein is in a whey protein. Now there's also brown rice as well. So there's other different wonderful vegan proteins on the market. And I know if you had any questions about these products, you can head into Nutters. The staff there is incredible, so they can answer everything for you. But another one I like is rice protein, because it contains all 9 essential amino acids. So it is a complete protein. A lot of the time with vegan proteins, they're not complete proteins. So it's made, this one's made by Prairie Naturals. It's raw, organic. Gotta love that. It's hypoallergenic. It has the same qualities as egg whites, and milk. And it's a whole food protein shake too. There also, I will say, there's tons of recipes where you can make little protein balls, all sorts of stuff. I know Prairie Naturals has a lot of stuff on their website too, with different recipes that you can utilize. So now we're going to jump on to fats. So fats, of course, are important too. They're going to balance our hormones out. They help with heart health. We want to take care of that heart of ours. Regulates our body temperature. It helps our body absorbs vitamin A, D, E, and K, because those are fat-soluble vitamins. That's why when you buy your vitamin D, Prairie Naturals has one that's in olive oil. It helps with brain support, joint support, stabilizes blood sugar, detoxifies the body, and omega-3s are very anti-inflammatory. So really looking at keeping that inflammation down as well. Sources of healthy fats: nuts and seeds, avocados, olive oil, MCT oil, which regulates the body's response to insulin. A lot of people have, when they're doing fasting, they have, you probably heard of something like the bulletproof coffee, where they'll have a coffee and then they'll put ghee or organic butter in it, or coconut MCT oil in it. So that would be more kind of a bulletproof coffee idea. Fish oil, flax oil, ghee, butter, as I said, and cheese. And then we got carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, I know in the past several years with keto have kind of got a bad rap. I'm really a big believer in having everything. I think once you start, as I talked before, restricting certain food groups, I think it only really triggers you to eventually give in. And what I've done talks for keto, because I have talked a lot about this, I've met so many women over the years, and men as well, who have lost tons of weight on keto, but then they ended up gaining some of it back, or if not all of it back, because they ended up wanting to have some carbohydrates. So if I look at having more of a moderate carbohydrate intake on a day-to-day basis, making sure you're getting good quality protein and healthy fats, that really is more of a sustainable way to go. And you're still going to be able to enjoy some of these carbohydrates, which have immense benefits. It provides energy and fiber to keep us nice and regular, helps with sleep as well. It uplifts mood, improves digestive systems. It provides vitamins and also phytonutrients. So some of the sources of healthy carbohydrates, we've got whole fruits, bananas, watermelon. I mean, who's like watermelon? Actually, I saw watermelon on sale the other day for $11.99 for a watermelon. I was like, I think I'll wait. But watermelon, apple, oranges, pears, all those great fruits. We have to remember fruits are carbohydrates. I think a lot of people don't know that. Then looking at those fibrous vegetables, you've got your Brussels sprouts and cucumbers. I've always looked, even when I did my competition days, salads were always kind of an open game for me. I could have as much salad as I want, right? And especially now we're getting into salad season. So really looking at all those different fibrous vegetables that we can put onto our salads. Then starchy vegetables, we've got the winter squash, sweet potatoes, plantain, rutabaga. and grains and legumes. So those, looking at those really nice whole grain breads, the Ezekiel breads, the buckwheat, the oatmeal, looking at those really healthy fibrous carbohydrates that will also help slow that blood sugar down, slow the insulin down, right? So keep your blood sugar stable. And then fermented foods. So 80% of our immune system is in our gut. They really call the gut the second brain. So 80% of our immune system is in our gut. So it's really important we take care of our gut health, that we're regular, that we're going to the bathroom on a regular basis. If you have gas or bloating or constipation, start including more fermented foods into your diet, such as kefir, tempeh, sauerkraut. You can use apple cider vinegar. There's probiotics, and poor gut health increases the chances also of estrogen-related diseases such as PCOS, endometriosis, sorry, and even breast cancer. Really important that we have regular bowel movements. Things you can look at is you can look at Enzyme Force, which is another product from Prairie Naturals as well. If you head into Nutters and you have any questions about that, please, you can ask them. If you are somebody who has had your gallbladder removed, you should be taking a bile force, an ox bile enzyme that's going to help your body process fats. So they have one called Bile Force enzyme. So it's really going to help support you in breaking down those fats. And then superfoods. I am a big fan of superfoods, always have been. So with superfoods, we have those large dosages of antioxidants, polyphenols, vitamins, minerals, things like goji and turmeric and kale and spirulina. They reduce the risk of disease. They promote healthy gut health as well. It's going to help create more alkalinity in your body. We have acid and alkaline in our body. And with the foods we eat and stress and lack of sleep, we tend to be more acidic. Superfoods are going to help balance that out. It's going to protect cellular health and reduce inflammation. It promotes eye health and slows down aging. So just the benefits are tenfold on superfoods. And the one I'm going to talk about tonight from Prairie, you probably would recognize this if you listened to the last talk, because I talked about this because I love this product. This is their new superfoods product. And the reason I like it is it's fermented, because we talked about fermentation, and it's organic. And there's not, I don't think there's really any, I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any fermented organic greens products on the market today. This also has mushrooms in it too. So we got 20 fermented organic food-based antioxidants in here. It's then the fermentation, as we talked about, fermentation not only helps gut health, but it actually makes it more bioavailable, so your body can utilize it more. In there, they've got fermented organic green foods such as alfalfa, kale, wheatgrass, oatgrass, barley grass. They got maca, they've got turmeric and beet in there too. And I'm going to go over a couple of the ingredients, but they've also have organic mushroom blend. So if you're not familiar, mushrooms, of course, are coming to the forefront to provide extreme health benefits. You got king trumpet, turkey tail, cordyceps, reishi, lion's mane. Plus, we've got the organic spirulina, chlorella, moringa. It's non-GMO, it's soy-free, it's gluten-free, tastes delicious, and you can have this in the morning when you wake up. So in the morning, we're going to talk a little bit in the next couple slides what you can be drinking in the morning if you're somebody who is used to getting up and having drinks in the morning. What is, an open food or drink to have? So I'm going to go over some of the ingredients in here. So I got kale. I don't know if you didn't know, it is the most nutrient dense food on the planet. It's an excellent source of C, A, K, B6, and more. It's high in lutein. So all of us looking at these screens, it's going to help our eye health and the zeaxanthin. Then they got wheatgrass in here, which reduces cravings, eliminates toxins, and boosts the metabolism, just to say a few. Then turmeric. I'm sure many of you are familiar and have used turmeric in your cooking. I know I use a lot in my slow cooking. It really helps with inflammation. If you have a family member who has arthritis, really look at the turmeric powder, the straight powder, the fermented turmeric powder from Prairie Naturals. It's phenomenal. Then we've got the mushrooms too. So these are just a couple of them, because if I did, we'd be here for a while. You got the reishi mushroom that helps with sleep, anxiety, and depression. The lion's mane that helps with cognition and memory. You got turkey tail, and then cordyceps in there too. But some of the big game ones, game changers, I guess you call it, is chlorella, 16 vitamins and 8 minerals and 19 amino acids. It is a complete protein. So we talked about complete proteins, like we've got whey as a complete protein, eggs a complete protein. This is a complete protein. So really making sure that you're getting some of those essential micronutrients in here, especially with the chlorophyll. And it's the richest source of chlorophyll, and if you've watched the TikTok, I don't know if anybody here has seen the TikTok phenomenon that happened a couple of weeks ago with using chlorophyll to help with skin health. This has the richest, well, Chlorella has the richest source of chlorophyll in it, and chlorella is in this product. So you've also got the omega-3s and 6s. I know my 12-year-old came downstairs and were like, Mom, where's the chlorophyll? And I'm like, oh, well, it's in the greens you've been having every day. Really helps with that skin health. We've also got the spirulina in there too. So it's anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. It's packed with vitamins and packed with chlorophyll again. So this is kind of the lineup of what Prairie Naturals has for superfoods. Nutters does carry them. So please feel free to go in there, and the Nutters associates there would be more than willing to help and direct you towards the best one for you. I really like the superfoods. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make. So it's super green. You can see that it's nice and green. So you have those rich polyphenols in there. And I just take a shaker cup. You can buy these shaker cups anywhere. I have some ice in here already. I literally do 1 scoop. And I have this every single day. Every single day I have greens. I do not miss my greens. It's one of my main things. Whey and greens, one of the biggest things. So I got my water here. And that's as easy as it is. Kind of same idea as the whey pro. Oops, that's my superfoods lid. And then just shake it up. It has a really nice light blueberry taste. I think a lot of the time with greens, and I know they can get scary because they're kind of green, but these ones are really good. Really lightly flavored and really, really well done. So I really, really love, say really a lot, really love these ones here. And I also like too the fact that Prairie Natural is a BC based company. It's Canadian. So I always love supporting Canadian made products. So let's kind of look at, we are what we eat. We're going to jump into the next topic, kind of what can you have in the morning? If you've done your flexible fasting, let's say you've got all these food in your fridge, you've got the good lean whey, you've got all the stuff that you want to have to really start implementing a better nutritional plan. Now we're looking at what can you have in the morning time? Because I truly believe in, not only do I use the flexible fasting idea, but I also use an 80-20 rule. So for myself, my 20 is on the weekend. You can do 80% in the day, 20%. So if you're somebody who is eating, who wants to have that piece of dark chocolate at the end of the day, I tend to wait to the weekend, and then I relax a little bit more on the weekend, have a glass of wine here and there, have some treats, that kind of thing. So really looking more of an 80-20 rule, because it allows a lot of flexibility. You're not in a rigid, strict plan. But when you are going to be doing flexible fasting and you have slept all night and you wake up, and I want to kind of say a quick disclaimer on this too. We are all very different. And so if you find, if this works for you, one of the things I think that's great about listening to webinars like this is you can take little tidbits. What I say tonight, what all the other presenters you've listened to have said throughout the years you've listened, and kind of make it your own. So there's not about following everything I'm saying to a T. It's really about looking at how can I make this work for me? And that makes sense for me. And I'm going to use that because that's basically what I've done to really find health and wellness sustainability for myself. And I've found this has worked successfully for me. So in the morning time when I get up, I don't eat, I go to the gym, I drink my water, got my water bottle here, I drink my water. That's fully fine. That's not going to push me out of my fasting mode where my body is utilizing my fat for fuel at that point. You can have coffee and tea. I don't put lots, I can put like a stevia in, but I don't put sugar or added milk and cream. You can do diluted apple cider vinegar. You can do lemon water if you like. There's a product called Morning Rise and Shine. It's lemon powder. You can put that in there. And of course, your superfoods. So in the morning, I'll probably have my water when I head to the gym. I'll come back, I'll make a greens, I'll drink that, and I'll have some tea. Am I hungry? And then I'm constantly checking in on my hungry. And then when I'm hungry, then I break my fast. Now it's important to look at what are we going to do when we break our fast. Now, as I said a couple of minutes ago, it's about listening to your body. So what I do, and I've had a lot of success with this in working with people, a lot of the time people will have carbohydrate-rich breakfasts. So when we break our daily fast, but when we start using more fats and protein, I have found more success with this. So by using fats and protein, we create more blood sugar balance because you don't have the sugars causing the insulin to rise and fall, right? So you're not going to have that blood sugar roller coaster that you would have if you're having heavy carbohydrates first thing in the morning or fruit first thing in the morning. Having more protein and fats, you're going to be provide more satiation. You're going to be less hungry longer. That's really what I'm looking for here. So because what happens is if you have a high sugar, low protein, low fat breakfast, your blood sugar starts to drop, right? Your insulin level has gone up. Now your blood sugar starts to drop. This causes the adrenals, right? That's your stress gland. That's going to secrete the hormone cortisol, which tells the liver to produce and release glucose into the bloodstream. The pancreas then secretes glucose and glucose in storage, and then you're going to feel that crash. And then you need to go get coffee or you need to eat something else. I guess the way I could kind of put it is, I kind of think that when I wake up in the morning, my body's in a fat burning zone, right? My body's burning, and I'm going to continue to give it protein and fats instead of switching the gasoline. I don't know if that makes sense. So if all of a sudden I'm going to have carbohydrates, it's almost like I'm giving it a different source, energy source. So I give it protein and fats for as long as I can. So my first meal is protein and fats. Then my lunch, I might incorporate more carbohydrates. And it gets a little clear in, we've given you guys a flexible fasting meal planner we've put together. So you can kind of take a look at how that looks. So the reason you want to have protein and fats first thing, instead of having a carbohydrate or cereal or toast, keep that maybe for your lunch if you can. It's going to do the following things. So it's going to balance the fasting blood glucose levels. It's going to support your adrenals and avoid fatigue. So you're not going to have that exhaustion, right? And going for that second cup of coffee. It's going to provide a constant energy flow. It keeps you satiated and avoids sugar cravings and avoids the blood sugar roller coaster. I've been using, this is how I've been eating for years. It has worked phenomenal for me, but at the same time, really pay attention to that for yourself. So you might want to start a little food journal and be like, I had eggs this morning and I know you had a piece of some nuts or something like that, right? So had some protein, or maybe you made a smoothie with some nut butter in it, something along those lines, or one of the recipes we're going to be giving you, and keep track of how you feel, because it's all about how you feel, because we're all different. So I have found it has been highly successful for myself. I found it's been a way that I've been able to maintain my body and maintain my weight for probably going on 10 years. I haven't had any severe up and downs in the past 10 years. So my first breakfast meal of the day, if you look at some of the recipes, and you'll be getting all of these, we got the chocolate avocado smoothie, you have avocado smoked salmon, you have the curry tofu scramble. That's how you're going to start your day, more protein and fat based. And then you're going to include your carbohydrates as the day progresses. Okay, so that's just, as I said, pay attention to how you feel, because we all are different. And if you need to have those carbohydrates in the morning, then honor that as well, because this is really about honoring what our body needs. So now we're going to dig into supplementation. I know you guys might have some questions on that last one, so I'll answer it when we get to the end. I'm sure Jen is feverishly trying to answer things. Supplementation. So I have one of the things that I created with Aeryon Wellness is we created a metabolism support product. And we also created a product called Water Be Gone. Now, Water Be Gone originally was formulated for PMS diuretic support. So for those women who, women can gain 5 to 8 pounds of water weight pre-menstrual cycle. And when I did my fitness competitions, we always took diuretics to help kind of pull the water out of our system. So we had that really muscular look on stage. Now, when I began thinking about it, I'm like, how come this isn't for women? Like, there needs to be a product out there to help women not only help balance hormones and PMS symptoms, but also help when you feel that water weight, when you're feeling really watery at different times of the month, be it that you've had a lot of sodium or that you're PMSing. And then looking at having a metabolism support product that also helps with hunger cravings and also helps balance estrogen and also helps support metabolism. And that's really what we've done with these two products here. And although you can buy them separately, I like to pair them together. So I'm going to go into a little bit of each of them and explain what they are. So the Water Be Gone is, as I said, a diuretic support product. So when we are losing weight, our fat cells are full. And as we begin to lose body fat, the cells begin to empty of the fat. And then the cells fill with water to maintain their shape, right? And wait for more fat to come back in. But as you lose more weight, you're going to retain more water, and the fat cells shrink when you lose the weight. So then you're slowly losing the weight. So what this does, it kind of shuttles things out of the cells just a little bit faster. So if you are somebody who experiences water retention, such as bloating, or you're sodium sensitive, you have swollen legs, puffiness in the face, you have those indentations, this could be a product you want to look at as well. What we've put in this product is black cohosh. It helps with PMS symptoms. It helps relieve menopausal symptoms. It helps with hot flashes. And if you have a man in your life, or if there's a gentleman on the call or webinar tonight, you guys can take it too. It's actually used for the prevention and treatment of prostate cancer. There's lots of studies behind it. So men can use this product as well. Then we've put dandelion in there to act as a diuretic and reduce water retention and flush out excess water out of your system. We've added juniper berry. Juniper berry is used in urinary tract infections. It's a clinical dose in here. It's a 4-to-1 extract. So if you're somebody who's maybe on the beginning of a urinary tract infection, you could easily use this, or look to gain just a pure juniper berry as well. And this also supports your kidneys and also helps create more regularity in your monthly flow. Then we've added milk thistle to support the liver. And the liver, it's going to help. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. It works synergistically with NAC. So NAC is a precursor to glutathione, which is a really powerful antioxidant and a potent liver regenerator. So supporting our liver is really important in doing its job. Then last but not least, we've added magnesium citrate. So that prevents any muscle cramping, also helps as a laxative and reduces PMS. So it's a simple formula, but highly effective. It's going to help with PMS water weight. It has a unique hormonal balance to it. It's great for a weight loss kickoff. And that's why I kind of put these two together. And that's why I've done this for this talk, because I find a lot of the time when you're in that beginning start phase of a weight loss journey, let's just say this is what you want to do, or you're just doing the flexible fasting and you're looking for something to move that dial on the scale, this is going to allow that to happen because you're going to see some of that water weight disappear. It's also great for a salty meal solution. I keep this and I have at least 1 or 2 every weekend if I have sushi or have something salty. Next, we're going to talk about Lose It. So one of the things with women, women tend to have weight gain, predominantly hormonal imbalanced weight gain around the belly. So you have cortisol belly, the hip and thigh. You can have it in your arms and your chest fat. So really looking at creating a metabolism support product that helps deal with hormonal weight gain as well. And this is what we've done with this one. So this helps with weight loss plateau, hormonal imbalance, weight around the midsection, low energy, or slow metabolism. In this one, we put indole-3-carbinol. So indole-3-carbinol helps prevent estrogen-enhanced cancer. So what it does, it balances the estrogen in the body. And what we have found is women who tend to be overweight in those areas tend to be estrogen dominant. That's why it's really important to balance our estrogen out. They also put red pepper extract in here, so that helps increase feelings of fullness. If you're somebody who's looking at really starting to do this flexible fasting idea, even just having this product on its own really helps curb the hunger cravings as much. It kind of reduces it a bit. So if you're somebody who always is feeling hungry, we've had incredible feedback on this one for that. Then we have caffeine. We only have 1.5 cups of coffee per pill. We have a very low caffeine dosage in here, but caffeine also contains a chlorogenic acid that helps slow down the absorption of carbohydrates. Then we have L-carnitine, which is an important amino acid that helps with muscle recovery and boosts the metabolism. And then we have green tea extract in here. There is no caffeine in this green tea, but it contains theanine. So that actually helps reduce the levels of cortisol. If our body is pumping out cortisol, then our body holds on to weight more and actually can make us more insulin resistant. So it's really important to make sure we have lower levels of cortisol. Then olive leaf, which helps also again with reducing appetite and improves insulin sensitivity. And then last but not least, we put our B12 in there. That boosts our metabolism, it supports our nervous system, and it helps convert the food we eat into sugar so we can use that for energy. So this one, all in all, increases energy, exercise enhancer. I take one every morning before I go to the gym. I have a phenomenal workout on this stuff because I don't usually have a coffee first thing. Helps with hormonal balance. It helps with muscle recovery, fat loss support. It's low stimulant. There is no jitters whatsoever. And it helps decrease appetite if that's something that you're struggling with. What we've also done with the Aeryon Wellness products, I'm going to talk about in a slide or so, is you get, now the ones that you'll be getting have a QR code on the top. We have a QR code on the front of every Aeryon Wellness product. And that QR code leads you to a 30 to 60 second video where I'm explaining the product and what's in it to really kind of give you some extra knowledge about what the product is you're taking. But we've also included meal plans in here. So you have 2 free meal plans, vegan and non-vegan. We have mindful eating strategies and also a workout as well. And really tips and strategies as to how you can use these products to have more weight loss if that is your goal. And as I said, these are the 6 products we have on the market for Aeryon Wellness, and every single one now has a QR code. For instance, our snooze product has 8 magnesium-rich recipes and sleep tips. Our Restore has affirmations, really looking at how we can empower women with holistic health, how we can support you on your journey to finding sustainable health and wellness. So we have meal planners and recipes, tips and strategies, workouts, etc. So now we're going to get into extra tips, then strategies to use. First one, reducing the sugar. So what sugar does, it causes glucose to spike and fall and increases insulin release, right? So we really want to make sure that when we are eating this food and we're having those 3 meals a day, when we're breaking our fast, that we're not having high glucose, high fructose, sugary foods, making sure we're having those good fibers, carbohydrates. If you decide to not do just the protein and fats, having those good high fibrous carbohydrates, having fruits, having vegetables, making sure you're getting those fats when you're eating your food. Sugar also accelerates aging. It increases the risk for diabetes, obesity, and heart disease, decreases your immune system as well. So having sugar. So looking at sugar sources or substitutes such as sweet monk is one of my favorites, stevia or xylitol are important. Water. I hope you're all drinking water tonight while I've been yattering on here. So I have, these are my little water bottles. If you want to have a water bottle, you can buy these on the website, but my Go Be Brilliant water bottles. I drink about 3 of these a day. And what I do is I have 3 elastics on my water bottle. And every time I drink one of my water bottles, I take my elastic off and put it on my wrist. It's a great way to keep track of how much water you're drinking every day. You want to make sure minimum you're getting 8 to 10 glasses of water a day. It's going to help with your skin health. It flushes out toxins and excess hormones. It keeps your throat moist, helps with skin health. You can use lemon water in there if you like, or natural water flavoring, but really making sure you're getting that water in. Lastly, being patient and compassionate, even with introducing like a flexible fasting idea, even tomorrow morning, there is no time limit on flexible fasting. That's the beauty about it. It really is landing in how you feel. Like, am I hungry? Okay. And being patient with yourself. And I think one of the things, if weight loss is one of your goals that you've been looking at, we all want change yesterday. We have this weird thing with our body where we expect, I want to lose 10 pounds in a week. And, it doesn't take us just a week to gain 10 pounds, right? So really looking at creating small little steps along the way that will have lasting change and impact in your life. I don't use the scale anymore. I use my clothes. I go on how I feel. I haven't stepped on a scale in years because that triggers me. I don't do well with numbers or restriction. So literally looking at how you can take small steps to win in your life. And it doesn't necessarily come from a number on the scale. And exercise. I can't do this talk without talking a little bit about exercise. Daily movement is so important. If you're somebody who hates going to the gym, I don't know if the gyms are open where you are, but what sports did you play as a child? My daughter and I go for walks quite a bit. We have a tennis court we can go play in, try to join a challenge, get mats, get bands. You can do, as I do this in all my talks, but just simply sitting where you are right now. And if you're on a lot of Zoom calls for work, you can turn your camera off if you have to, and you can simply put your hands in the air and pull down and flex your back. So you're bringing your shoulder blades down, and you do that 10 times. That's actually a pretty good workout. That's like a lat pull down. Instead of using the weight, you're flexing, right? You do that 10 times, 4 times a day, you're going to feel it. If you are sitting in your chair, getting up and sitting down 10 times, taking the steps, going up and down twice, just doing different activities I believe it's our way of giving thanks for this wonderful body that we have. But making sure that you're getting at least 30 minutes in a day. And if you're somebody who can't do 30 minutes, let's say you're in your house all the time working, break it into 10-minute increments, 5-minute increments where you're getting your body moving. So some of the takeaway lessons tonight is really what flexible fasting is, the difference between flexible fasting, intermittent fasting, looking at those health benefits. Weight loss, it's going to control insulin levels. It helps with growth hormone, keep us nice and young, reduces oxidative stress, improves brain health, heart health, and it's anti-aging as well. But the biggest thing I find is it really connects you to intuitive eating. It really connects you to, am I hungry? Because you're not just waking up first thing in the morning and just eating breakfast to eat breakfast. You're like, what, am I hungry? I'm not hungry yet. Okay, let's give it a minute. Let's see, let's let that adrenaline kick in. Okay, now I'm getting GH, I'm getting growth hormone as well. That's good. Now I acknowledge I'm hungry. So now what is my choice? What is my winning choice, food choice I'm going to make today? Am I going to have a protein and fat? If you want to have a protein, fat, and carbs, it's whatever works for you and makes you feel good. And that's why it's important to really learn to land and what makes us feel good. And then when you need to, then you supplement if needed. You buy a product like Lose It or Water Be Gone to have that support if that's something that you desire. And then looking at the bonus tips, as we just talked about, water, can't get enough of that, reduce your sugar, be kind to yourself, and use a plan to kickstart. That's one of the reasons why we're sending you the flexible fasting plan today, so you have something to kind of go by. Although we might, I looked at, when I started the talk in the beginning, I talked about dieting. And I don't use diet, but I do have a plan. I had to have a plan when I was making those choices to change my life when I was in the bathroom that day. I had to set a plan in place that I followed for a number of years. And now I really don't operate in a plan anymore. I just now intuitively eat when I need to. But I really do believe in having a plan in place. That's one of the reasons why you're getting the plan we're sending today. And so the big question too, I always like to ask everybody is, what do you want your story to be? And all those years ago, when I was in the bathroom, I really had a moment of what do I want, not only my story to be, but what do I want her story to be? What example do I want to lead? I mean, at the end of the day, we all have people who watch us and look up to us. And so even if you might not have somebody like my daughter, I have a daughter, Michaela, you guarantee you have somebody in your life who looks at you and respects you and admires what you're doing. And so really looking at what kind of legacy are you leaving and what kind of example are you leading? Are you honoring your body? You're taking care of this body that you get, and looking at how you can use some of the tools and strategies possibly from tonight, if they work for you and if you like them, to kind of get to that place. So tonight you're going to be sent not only the flexible fasting plan, but you're also going to get a $7 coupon off for Aeryon Wellness products. They will be sending you that you can use in store. And then we also have a $5 off coupon for Prairie Naturals as well. So we've got for the lean whey and also for the superfoods as well. So if you want to get one of those ones, you can get that. So on that note, I just wanted to say thank you everybody for attending. I will answer some questions. Aeryon Wellness is a female founded company. And with a purchase of every one of our products, a percentage is donated to the Downtown Eastside Women's Shelter here in Vancouver. It's a really important cause to me. We've been doing that since our very first bottle that we sold. And I am very proudly Canadian as well. So I want to thank you all for taking time. I know this is it's a 7 o'clock night and I don't know if it's rainy where you are, but I want to thank you all so much for spending the time with me. So I'm going to look into some questions here. I'll go into the chat, and I want to thank Jen yet again for being so amazing and helping out and answering questions here. Okay, here we go. Oh, let me see here. Okay, so one of the questions I saw here, how do you balance cooking for a handicapped person daily and eating when you need to? I understand that. So Nancy, that's a great question. Nancy's question was, how do you balance cooking for a handicapped person daily and eating when you need to? The two ideas don't always mesh. And first off, that's amazing. And I can't even begin to understand how much work that would be. And but what I would say, and one of the things that I do, because when I have my daughter or when I've had other people in my life, I try to pre-cook, to be honest with you. I mean, now it's a little more barbecue season. So like on Sunday, we put a bunch of chicken fillets out. We have those cooking, or I try to prep larger meals, use the slow cooker. I find that helps as well a little bit, just to alleviate time, or an air fryer. I have an air fryer too. So try to use those things as tools to prepare larger batches, I guess you could say. When I bring home vegetables and stuff, I'll try to have them cut up and have them in the fridge. I do a thing called a salad bar sometimes. So I'll have all the lettuce, and I'll have all the different items I would like to have in a salad bar, and I have them individually packed up in the fridge, and they'll last me for 2 or 3 days, and I can just grab and put them into a salad. So that's another way you could do it too. I don't know if that helped out much. I believe Janelle, you'd have to ask Michelle about that. I believe Nutters can be used online. I had to ask that one for Michelle. Maybe Michelle can chime in for that one. Does chia seeds break fasting? Chia seeds would break fasting, yes, but you could have that for a breakfast, right? I mean, chia seed pudding, it's so simple. Chia seed pudding, you do almond milk, some chia seeds, and putting a little bit of almond butter in there. So you're going to have that protein and fats. So that's still going to kick you in that protein and fat zone. So it's a great way to, it's a great breakfast. No, fasting does not negatively affect your hormones. It actually helps balance hormones even more so, because you're not having insulin spiking up and down. So it's going to create more blood sugar balance, which is, that's one of the reasons why women tend to when you have higher cortisol, when you are constantly releasing insulin into your body, it stresses your body out. Your body releases cortisol, which then negatively impacts your estrogen and your hormone levels. So it actually does not. When you're hungry, but also the ghrelin. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on, okay, when I mentioned, I'll read this question, sorry. You mentioned eating when you're hungry, but also the ghrelin secretion will burn fat via growth hormone. It does. So there's some extent of pushing through. Now, I guess that's a personal choice. I now what I do is I acknowledge that hunger cue, and then I choose to eat. So it really is up to you on to how you want to do that. Because I don't do a timed fast anymore. I have done them in the past, but I don't do them anymore. Grains and should avoid them. Oh gosh, let me think. Well, you could have, I mean, Beverly has asked, I have fibromyalgia and my naturopath says I have a sensitivity to grains and to avoid them. Any advice for healthy to avoid grains? So there are sweet potatoes, spaghetti squash, trying to think what else you could do. Would chia seeds be gosh, I should know that. Chia seeds would be a grain. I'm just trying to think here. But I would look at more vegetables, really vegetable sources, right? To have really good, healthy carbohydrates. Should you fast 24 hours every now and then? I think that's a personal choice. I mean, there's health benefits behind the fasting every 24 hours. I choose not to anymore. I just do my daily flexible fasting. But if that's something that you want to try, it's definitely not a negative thing. Giving your body a break. I think we're constantly eating, so it's perfectly fine if that's something you wanted to do. And if your medical doctor or naturopath was fine with you doing it, I always like to tell people to seek attention from them first or questions from them first. Okay, yeah, so all the products are only available in store right now. So when you do want to get them, but you can order them using the online order from on Nutter's website. Okay. Oh, brain fog. Well, this actually, if fasting, so Carrie's asked what helps with brain fog. There are some great products out there. One of the products actually that I have is Restore, and that has Bacopa in it. So Bacopa helps with clarity and focus. But one of the things I've found by having protein and fats first thing in the morning, I'm very clear and focused throughout the day. So it really has helped me remarkably. It makes such a difference that if I have carbohydrates opposed to having protein and carbs first thing in the morning. Oh, thank you. Sorry, they're not a grain. Chia seeds not a grain. Okay, good. Thank you. Let me see if there's anything else. Let me see here. Okay, I think we are. Is water be gone safe with other medications? I would definitely want you to talk to your doctor first. I wouldn't want to tell anybody because it's really kind of beyond my scope. So I'd want to make sure that you actually talk to your doctor about taking anything if you are taking any medication. And that would be a response probably anybody would tell you in any natural health food store. Okay. All right, I think, do we have any more questions? I can kind of end it off here. If anybody here would like to, there's my little ticker there, move this over. You can follow me. I welcome stalkers as well. So you can follow us on Instagram for Aeryon Wellness, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and then also to, of course, my personal Instagram. And if you'd like to, if anybody has any questions, you can reach out to me as well. It's Aeryon@aeryonwellness.com. If you have any questions, I will definitely try to help you. Michelle, will this recording be sent? Beverly wants to know. I don't know if you can tell me that. Is that a yes?
Yes, the webinar is recorded. Okay. And I also wanted to mention, we'll probably send it out tomorrow with the meal plan, as well as the coupons mentioned. And I do also want to mention, if you do pop into your local Nutters and let's say they don't have the Prairie Naturals or the Aeryon Wellness products available, just talk to the vitamins manager or one of the vitamins associates, and they'd be happy to order it in for you. So just wanted to pop that in there before we end the session.
Yes, and they can get it. My distributor ships the next day, so you guys do get it pretty fast as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I think that is it. I think we're almost done here. So everybody so much. Thank you so much, Michelle. And thank everybody for taking their time with me tonight and joining us. And I look forward to coming back and being with Netters. I'm going to take the summer off from webinars, but hopefully in the fall, I'll be back to have another webinar with you guys.
Well, we'd love to have you. Thank you so much, Aeryon. And thank you to the Prairie Naturals team. Thank you, Jennifer, for answering some questions in the panel. That's it for us tonight. So check your mailboxes in the morning and you'll have access to all of the information that we talked about tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.